Our first business of the year is American Transmission Company. This Waukesha company was formed 10 years ago as the only transmission-only utility in the country, and has grown to have nearly $557 million in annual revenues and 520 employees. ATC monitors 9,440 miles of transition lines, 515 substations, and numerous power sources throughout the region, and also owns, operates, manufactures, and maintains the high-voltage electric transmission systems that serve parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, and Michigan. Please welcome Frank Fennessy. Frank is the Director, Land Management and Stakeholder Affairs for ATC. Frank.
ATC was the first transmission-only utility in the United States, and the company has gotten 58 projects through pipeline and transmission projects through while negotiating with several stakeholders that don't always have each other's interests at stake: environmental groups, municipalities, people who live there, property owners, and so forth. So, Frank, I wonder if you could tell us in 3 or 4 minutes or so, what are some of the techniques your company uses to gain agreement between stakeholders that might not have each other's interests at stake?
Is this on? There we go. Thank you. It starts with having good, capable employees and suppliers and their employees in the work that they do on the ground. It also, because we do not serve retail customers per se, you do not get a bill from American Transmission Company. We also work with our utility partners. In the room today is We Energies. We work through their people on projects that brings reliable electricity to you. Our tagline is keeping communities strong, keeping the lights on, communities strong, and businesses running, and that's what it's all about for those of you that are in the room. We do that by when we have a project or where we have a presence. Here in Waukesha, we have about 250 employees, 550 or so statewide. You need to have them well housed, you need to have them well trained, and you need to make sure that they like to come to work, and we have a very dedicated workforce. And working with those, and also creating a relationship with communities where we can determine what the need for a project is and how it can be sited effectively. It's not the it's not the easiest task in the world, but we found where we can build relationships, discover what the issues they may have with our project, be it maintaining the vegetation along our transmission lines. There's one that runs past the hotel here, for example, that needs to be maintained. That it's key to keeping the lights on and that their business is running and their employees working, that can happen. We spend a lot of time engaging the issues that those people raise, trying to solve them where we can, and we've been successful in 58 out of the 58 with the regulator. It also involves working with local governments who may or may not have regulatory approval over our projects, but are key stakeholders in terms of how they can influence state regulators in the approval of our projects to understand what we're about and how we do it. So it's time. My takeaway for you all that have neighbors, have businesses in a business park or whatever, keeping your neighbors informed about what you're doing. We do it on 9,000 miles of line and a lot of substations. But I think it's important for all of you that if you plan an expansion, you plan a change in a permit for perhaps that may affect your downwind residents in your community, working through the local officials, the local stakeholders to get that done is just money in the bank. And it's important that you be able to do that. That would be my takeaway for all of you from the work that we do across the state of Wisconsin and Upper Michigan.
Thank you, Frank.